Hi, everybody. Welcome to Behind the Scenes. And it is sunny and trees are blooming, and it's such a hopeful feeling of spring. And if it snows next week, I'm going to move. I can't take the back and forth. I can
It's
do the
either
winter.
allergies or snow. So which do you want? Allergies or snow?
I want allergies so badly, so badly until I have them and I'll change my mind. But yeah, it's true. Okay, so you know how parenting is a thankless job? I mean, everyone tells you that. It's thankless, right? And so you start to know that you don't do it for the thank yous, because if you did, you'd just be miserable all the time. However, there are times, there are definitely times where you just can't believe it, but a kid said thank you. So that's what we're going to talk about today. I'm going to start with one story, and then I saved one more to end with. So I do have a kid who gets up from the dinner table and says, "Thanks for dinner, Mom." And my other kids say, "You love that kid best." And what I say is, I am so grateful that I'm being thanked. And if you got up from the table and said, "Thank you for dinner," I'd put you in the same category. So it's not hard. It's really not hard. Just do it. All right, that's my opening story. And now I am going to move this over to, let's start with Jessica. We always leave Jessica for the end.
Oh no, the one that I don't have.
Jessica,
no, I can go. I
okay.
was gonna say, I've been definitely, I think, once I hit college and once I got out of college, like, as a kid, that's just kind of like, yeah, of course mom's gonna feed me. Of course dad's gonna help me figure out like whatever math thing I'm trying to figure out. Like, yeah, of course they're going to do that. And I don't think it really occurred to me until like, I was all grown up and I'm like, yeah, they didn't necessarily have to do all of the things that they've been doing. So I don't know, I've been trying to remember to say thank you more often than I used to. Not that it always occurs to me, but
I know, but there's hope.
Day,
There's hope as your kids get older that they will have gratitude. That's a good story.
Yeah, it's just, again, you don't always realize how good you have it until you're an adult. But yeah, I'm just gonna pass the buck down to Mindy.
Thanks, Jessica. And I would agree. I think I hear it much more often from my kids now that they're older. There's nothing better, right? There's nothing better than hearing thanks, Mom. And I'll get it a lot as we're an empty nester when my kids come to visit and they'll leave. Thanks, Mom, Dad, for a great time. I'll get it in texts when they're doing something, and I'll, hey, good luck with this, or hey, you did great with that. I'll get a thanks, Mom. And so I think it's a maturity thing. And I think as you get older, as our kids get older, I don't remember a whole lot of thanks when they were kids. Certainly not from the dinner table. So kudos to your kid. Maybe occasionally, but that's it. I mean, just kind of simple things. That's the little things. It doesn't have to be, oh, thank you for, I don't know, some big rule or value or something we have when they were younger. It's just that the simple things, that text, thanks, Mom, with an exclamation point. To me, that's the best. So yeah, it's nice, and we can't hear it enough. Kamira, what about you?
So the one that sticks out the most for me happened last year out of the blue. I think we were having, one of our regular college talks with our youngest. And he looked at me and he said, "Thank you for sacrificing and having a college fund for me." And it nearly floored me. And it seemed out of the blue to me. But, I learned later that he had friends who were having a hard time. Their choices had to be made on finance, and he could make a choice based on his preferences and loves. And he recognized that. And it's still, I'm it's still emotional for me. And, you guys know you've done it. It is a sacrifice to make sure that they have that pot for each of them. I'm going to send it over to Eka since we're going in a row.
Okay, first I'm just going to share this because Stephanie, you just made my day hearing this possibility. Johnny, who's 16, just texted from school. He said, "Have a great day, Mom. I love you." Wow, wow, wow. That is amazing. Just amazing. All right. Well, we're happy for Stephanie. Back to Eka.
Okay, I'm up. So, as Mindy said, as they get older, I think a lot of times retrospectively, they come back and they realize once they've gone out to college how much you've done for them. But I don't think in the moment they realize. And so my oldest actually will come for the weekend and we'll go out to dinner and we'll do all these fun things. And then after she comes, she will actually go home and then will write us a thank you note for a fun weekend, which is incredible. I think she got herself a big stack of thank you notes, and she just is really generous with them. And she sends thank you notes for birthday gifts to us and for Christmas gifts. And it's just been really crazy to have that. And when we take our kids on vacation with us, the same thing. So that's been kind of a crazy thing. But one that really hit me the most was when she was, I have said many times, she has been my tough one to parent. And when I think she was a sophomore in college, she called me at a really odd time. It was like 9:30 in the morning. And I think I've told this story to you guys. She called me at 9:30 in the morning, which is an odd time for her to call on like a Tuesday or something. And I said, of course I answered the phone, and I said, what's happening? And she says, I just got out of my psychology class and we were talking about boundaries. And we realized and, talked about how kids need boundaries, and without them, they really can't grow up, and they, things could go really wrong. And she says, and you and Dad put a lot of boundaries around me, and I really hated it. But now I realize without those boundaries, you did it because you guys love me and you wanted me to succeed. And I don't think I could have succeeded without them. So thank you. I was like, okay, thank you for calling. And then I think I hung up the phone and started crying because it had been so hard to set those boundaries, and to stick to them. So they do come around. But sometimes you have to wait. So that's my story. So I'll send it to you, Sharon.
That's so sweet, Eka. I was also thinking about thanking for actual parenting because I think that's so unusual. I have heard this a couple of times. Thank you for making me do X when I was younger that I was afraid to do. So in my family, kids need boundaries. All kids need boundaries. But my kids sometimes need a push too, like to go outside their comfort zone and do more risky things. So I feel like I'm always like push, like, come on, you can do this. We're going to keep trying. And I was recently thanked by one of my children for something I recently just made them work hard at and do, and they succeeded at it. And already they said, thank you for making me do that. But the same child, I want them to do something else right now that they are absolutely resisting doing. And I want so badly to say, remember how with that other thing, you said, thank you for pushing you. I'm doing it again. But I don't want to ruin that by like, now they'll never thank me again because I'm going to just use that against them the next time. But I don't know which things I'm doing right and which things I'm doing wrong. And the hard part is if you're waiting for thank yous on parenting, like the verdict's usually not going to come out for a long time from your kids. So who knows? I'm trying, but a few times they have said, thanks for doing that. So I don't know. I just keep blindly pushing along. Back to you, Sue.
I guess the moral of the story is that we don't do it to be thanked. When we get the thank you, it's like it can make you cry, like Eka. And I had one. This question comes up a lot for us, and we have a lot of articles about this. Like, do you make your kid stay with an instrument or with an activity that they agreed to? And I think we often talk about how, like, if you've made a commitment to other people, you got to stick with it. Like, you can't let other people down. But like, for example, if you're in a play and in the middle, you're not having fun, barring some really tough thing, everyone's relying on you. So you stick with it. But what happens when your kid says, I don't want to play this instrument anymore? And like, I always thought, well, I'd let my kid stop, right? Like, I'd let my kid stop if they said that. But I had a kid who loved it. And then it got really hard. Like, in the beginning, you make quick movement and you get better like you're going from like the beginner to the next books very fast and going through them. And then accomplishing a piece starts to become tedious and takes a long, long time. And it does lose some of that, like, yay, I did this. And I just said, can you just stick with it for a little longer? Because I think this moment is just very hard. And you seem like someone who loves doing this instrument, and like you get a lot of like kind of comfort in it. And so the answer was kind of like, we negotiated a deal. Like, you get this. And I also said it's for me too, because I love hearing you play. And when at the end of high school, that kid said, thank you for making me stick with it. And again, it's that same thing. You have no idea. That same kid could be going for therapy because their mother made them stay with it. But I don't know, for whatever reason, that was the right decision that was the right parenting response for that kid. So all of it's retrospective. We don't really know if we're doing it well. And a lot of this. Anyone else have anything to add? Kamara? Oh, we need Kamara to tell what she's doing on Tuesday, but we also need Sharon to jump in because Sharon has a huge interview on Thursday. So Kamara, let's start with you for Tuesday.
Tuesday, we are talking to Dr. Charlotte Markey. She has a book. She did a book in the past on girls and body image, but now she has the boys and body image book out. And we're going to talk about teen body image, but we're really going to focus on boys, which is something that it doesn't get a lot of attention and it needs more attention. So tomorrow, Tuesday, 10:30 a.m. Eastern time on our various social media platforms.
That's awesome. And Thursday, we have best-selling author Mary Laura Philpott, who is the author of I Miss You When I Blink, and her brand new book, Bomb Shelter, which just got this amazing review in the New York Times yesterday. Yesterday, yes. And they called it a masterwork. So here's the book.
Do you have a copy? I was looking for mine.
Yeah, I have one here. So if you want to do a mini book club, we have it's a like a very enjoyable fast read. So if you want to pick up a copy and join us on Thursday, we would love that.
Okay, and then tomorrow night is the last night for Destination College 2022. And tomorrow night is, what are the things that are getting in the way of our kids succeeding in college? And so we have a dean of freshmen from Wake Forest, and we have, her name is just
Melissa Lopez Larson. She's an MD who is an adolescent psychiatrist.
And talks a lot about the transition from high school to college. So I think if you're on this journey and your kid is looking toward college, I think this is really, really important. A lot of our kids today are struggling staying in college. And you're going to get some really fabulous advice. So you can sign up. Jessica just put the link in the chat. Also, if you sign up now, you'll get all the other 7 weeks, which you could then watch on your own time. So it's been extraordinary. The advice has been amazing. The feedback has been, thank you, thank you, thank you. This is just what I needed. So we encourage you to not think of this as like you were too late. Sign up, get on live tomorrow night with your questions, and be part of this wonderful experience. So everybody, thank you so much for being here with us. I want to say that Lori, I love Lori's because I think this reflects a lot of how we parent, and it's nice to end with Lori anyway. I may not get the thank you, but I do get lots of hugs and kisses when he gets it. And that is a great thank you for me. Sometimes I want the words, but I'll always take the love. So that's a beautiful note to end on, Lori. Thanks so much, and have a great week. We'll see you next Monday.